Just talk about it.
Well, I didn't. Here's the reason. Because what if, like, somebody wanted to take a picture of you and I'm in it, and then they're like, what's this idiot doing?
Instead, they get this.
Yeah.
How are you guys?
Really good.
Oh my gosh, I love Canada. I'm from Minnesota, so I'm an honorary Canadian. Yup.
So, have you started doing a lot of these reunions with the rest of the cast just recently? Because I saw all the talk about it in Boston. Is that the first, like, reunion for you guys at a panel or a con?
Yeah, it was the first time that we had Tom. It's been, first it was just Chris and I doing Comic-Cons. We did them for a lot of years, and then Michael joined us, and we did a few with Michael. But this was the first time that we had Tom, Michael, Chris, and I all together, which is, it was great. It really balances it out in a great way. So yeah, just having Tom there, because he never did these cons until this year. So it's just like felt like the family got back, the band was all back together. We're hoping for Crispin Glover someday.
Were you ever hesitant to get on the con scene as well? Was it something you just didn't want to do?
Like I said, I've been doing it for like 10, 15 years. I don't even know. So no, I think, one thing I kind of like about social media is when I first started acting, the idea was to kind of keep you separate from the fans, and that always struck me as like, that. And so I kind of like being able to meet people and shake their hand and talk to them and really get to know the fans, and so this always seemed like a natural extension of that for me as a performer, and I always appreciated it. So I really enjoyed doing these.
Nick, I was reading that when you were starting out in your career, like, you left home at like 20 and went to New York on your own. Is that true? Like, by yourself?
Yeah, I think I was younger than that. Yeah.
Was that scary? 'Cause, dude, I'm terrified going to New York on 4.
Yeah, but it's kind of a different time, when I was a kid, or, I don't know, there was kind of no safety net. My mom was like, I was the youngest of 5, my mom was like, you're 16, you're on your own, like, that was it. So, it's not like now, where my kids still live with me. They're 27 and 23. Yeah, it was just a kind of different time, and yeah, New York, it was scary because I had no money and no safety net. So showing up in New York for $300 is a spectacular feat, even in 1980.
Now, were you going there to pursue acting or to pursue dancing?
I was a ballet dancer. I started in Minnesota dancing here in Minneapolis, and then I moved to Pennsylvania, and I was in the Pennsylvania Ballet as an apprentice, and then I moved to New York as a dancer. So that was even worse. There's no money to be had there.
It's like real life fame.
Yeah. And so then I started acting, and I got my first audition, which was a Burger King counter girl for Burger King commercials. And they had a great casting director because there's actually a commercial with me, Elizabeth Shue, and Sarah Michelle Gellar, all in the same commercial. She's sitting on my lap. She's like a girl. And I got the commercial because they scoured New York for someone who could say, aren't ya? No one knew what to do with that. So I walked in and I was like, aren't you hungry? And they were like, yes! We found our girl! And so that was my first job, and so I thought, acting is a whole lot easier than dancing. So it didn't hurt quite so much.
So from there you went on to do Jaws, right?
Jaws 3D, a fine film. I did the best performance in a pink bikini ever.
So you learned to water ski for the movie after lying at your audition and saying that you could?
Oh, you read my publicity, didn't you?
I
like that in a minute.
I watched like 3 of them. And I listened. Apparently listening is key.
It is key. Yes, I did lie. I said I could water ski, I said I could swim, and I also said I could act. pyramid. There was, 6 guys, 2 girls, and a girl on the top. And this was designed to be on a lake, because the waves weren't so big. And in Jaws, in their wisdom, since they shot it in Orlando, which is 100 miles inland, they had to get the shark into SeaWorld, so they put this water ski pyramid on the ocean where the waves are going like this. So it was really, really dangerous. And but I was all in because I was a dancer, so I was used to putting my life at risk for no money.
So when you were auditioning for Back to the Future, did you have like an inkling about what was going to come with this movie, or were you thinking another Jaws movie?
No, well, yeah, Spielberg was involved in Jaws, but not Jaws 3D. When I auditioned for Back to the Future, I have a very bad memory. I only remember 2 things: where my kids are and my lines. That's it. There's nothing else that I can remember. I saved all my RAM space. But I do remember auditioning for Back to the Future, and it was a really beautiful memory doing my screen test, because usually those things are really scary, and they put you in a big, sound stage, and they almost try to make it scary. But Steven Spielberg was there, and he was running the video camera, which was about this big, and he was, I guess, because he's so famous, he learned how to put people at ease, and I don't know, I just felt so comfortable, and it felt so fun and collaborative, and every once in a while there's just a part that you get, like, there's a part that you understand. For some reason I really understood both the young Lorraine and the old Lorraine. I had really specific characters that I created that were good. I had learned to act since Jaws 3. I've been a few movies that act. And I just remember that being a really lovely experience when it should have been just absolutely terrifying. And
was he wearing like cargo pants? Steven Spielberg seems like a cargo pants kind of guy.
I don't remember.
All right, I'm just you love pockets, right?
I know. I was just saying that because now I'm a director. I'm mostly directing now, and so I get really confused about what to wear. Like, do I wear my acting clothes, or do I wear my director clothes?
What's the difference?
Lots of pockets.
Lots of pockets, okay.
Comfortable shoes.
Yeah.
And, a authority figure kind of clothes.
You never know what's in those pockets.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you guys have any questions? Shashawn, you pick. Just go to the closest person. That's the best way.
Hi.
I have a question about Back to the Future. So obviously you played Lorraine in Back to the Future, but you played like all these different iterations of her, like old Lorraine, who wasn't very good, and you also played Marty McFly. So which of those characters do you think is the most fun for you to portray?
What's your name?
Kennedy.
Kennedy, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Back to the Future is such a great part. I mean, it was just, I feel so lucky to be known for for a movie that was so inspiring to so many people, but also for being able to really act and really show that I had a range. And so I played all these different characters, and they're all kind of near and dear to me. Like, Uncle Joey didn't make a role like you were the one who wanted me to get these things! I want to play that character again! I know I can't go back to, oh my god, he's such a dream. I know I can't go back to that, but I could do the boo one. So I have affection for all of them, and even the old, not the only old character now, Lorraine in 2015, it was so funny to me because Bob Zemeckis said, you have to play 84 or whatever it was, but you can't be slow. So you have to be like an old lady on crack. So, I'm a reader right now. This is a comedy, you can't slow down. I mean, that was his direction. It was always loud, fast, and simple. Faster, 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 faster. Actually, I did a musical once. I took over from another actress, and so the music was all the same. It was on a click track. but there was just a little bit of acting, and I took 10 minutes off the show. I talk so fast, I just learned so much from Bob Zemeckis. But I think it was the drunken Lorraine in Back to the Future 2 is my actual I really want to still play her. I think I'd like to do a whole movie about her. Maybe Biff and I could do a spin-off. Just be kind of like the Donald Trump parody. I changed my name to Melania.
Dude, I'm seriously gonna
I'm
start
sorry,
asking
guys.
questions.
I'm sorry that I feel bad for writers. They couldn't write it. It's too insane every single day. Thank God for Canada.
Have you been to Toronto before?
I have not. I've made a couple movies in Vancouver, and I've also been to Banff, and I've made a movie in Montreal. I love that. And cheese at lunch.
Well, you definitely gotta see that tower before you. Watch.
What's your name? Vera? Vera. Thank you, Vera. Thank you.
Thank you, Vera.
Zip around in front. Oh, she's there. Okay.
Hi.
What's your name?
Rose.
Rose. Pleasure.
Really like doing Back to the Future, but I also really love doing this with bird. I just wondered, did you know American Sign Language before doing that, or is it something that you had to learn and retaining any of it?
I learned it as I went, and I'm sorry about that. Although that was my character. My character is supposed to be learning as she went. But it's a very beautiful language, and I feel really proud of it. And if I start talking to a friend, like my coach, we all had a coach to teach us the sign language. I'll start to get fluent in it again, but I do get scared when someone I don't know starts talking to me because I can't talk fast enough and I feel really disrespectful. But the point of Switch at Birth. Switch at Birth was a show I did about two girls who were switched at birth, and one of them was deaf. And my birth daughter was deaf. And we find out when they're 16 and we have to kind of blend the families. So it had this huge, depth for people who have people who are deaf in their family or hard of hearing. It really made it really human and taught a lot of people how to just at least try to do sign language and to communicate with people who are deaf. So I'm super proud of it. It's had a lot of reverberations all over the world. And in terms of empathy, and that's one of the things that's so great about my job. If we can create space where people can learn about each other in a really lovely way. And I loved Switch at Birth because the writer, I never knew what side of an issue she was on. She would always be so fair about both sides of every issue. And like I played the rich, Republican housewife, and I thought I was the bad guy. And she was like, no, you're playing my mother. I was like, oh, okay, I thought I was, she always had a really good sense of that. But yeah, sign language it's slow for me when I haven't done it for a while, but I love it. Thank you. That was a beautiful question. Hi.
I was just curious, in your home, what is your husband's favorite film that you have done? And vice versa, what's your favorite film that he's done?
What's your name?
I'm Tyler, sorry.
Tyler, how are you? My husband is Howard Deutsch. He directed me in Some Kind of Wonderful. And I can never remember that line. It's better to be with someone for the right reasons than alone for the wrong reasons. I can never remember the line. There's a big line in the movie. But we've been married for 29 years, and we have two daughters, Madeline Deutsch and Zoe Deutsch, and they're both actresses. And my husband, I think my favorite movie of his is probably Some Kind of Wonderful, And his favorite movie of mine is probably Some Kind of Wonderful. I think so. Just because we met there. And he's such a good director. And it's funny now because we're both directing TV at the same time. So we have all this kind of fun shop talk. We're doing the same job right now. He does it better, but I think I do it better. But thank you for your question.
So, did you steal anything from your Back to the Future set?
Steal?
Sneakily.
Well, it was interesting because there was the pink prom dress, and there were 3 of them. And when the movie ended, the first movie ended, I said, can I have one of the dresses? And I took it, and then when we did Back to the Future, they didn't expect it to be a sequel. We didn't have deals or anything. So when they went to recreate the prom again, they couldn't find the dresses. So I had the dress. I did not rent it to them, however. I just let them use it. So I had the prom dress, the shoes, the earrings, and then in Back to the Future 2, I took the boobs. I didn't want them to fall into the wrong hands. They were latex, and they got really smelly, and someone threw them away.
Hey, I was reading that like you used to love like freaking people out with them when they were walking to your dressing room or something and make them think they caught you unawares just to watch them be uncomfortable.
Well, it wasn't really like that. I was covered in plastic from here for Back to the Future 2 with the boobs. So they were plastic, so they went from here to here. So they would be making me up and drawing on them and stuff like that, and people would walk into the makeup trail and be like, oh! Steven Spielberg did, as a matter of fact. He's so upset. It's like, me too, right? Lea Thompson sexually abused me.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm from Montreal. This is my first time at Fan Expo Canada. And I'm a huge fan of both Back to the Future films and Switch at Birth. And my question is, what was like singing with Lucas Greville, and also what was like working with Vanessa Morano?
Thank you for that question. Lucas Greville, he was in a High School Musical, and yeah, he's great. And he and I got to sing together a bunch of times. They just got bored, and they were like, let's let Lea and Lucas sing together. And it was always so fun. He's so awesome. And actually, I have a movie coming out this month in September. Is it September? Yes. September 28th in America, called Little Women. It's a modern day adaptation. It's really cute. And Lucas is in that movie. He wrote me in it with him, and of course we sing together. So, and so that's my answer to you. It was wonderful. He's a great guy. And Vanessa Morano, who played my daughter in Switch at Birth, the one that wasn't my biological daughter, the one I raised. She's awesome. Everybody on that cast was awesome. We still get together because I just have such deep love for all of them. And that's a nice thing. It doesn't always happen when you're making a series for 5 years or a movie where you still like the people after you're done. And so, thank you for that question.
Hello there.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. My name is Craig.
Hi, Craig.
You're really one of my favorite actresses of all time. I'm an 80s kid, so you're many of my favorite 80s movies. Like Back to the Future panel last night was a lot of fun. So I forgot all the memories. I grew up in Australia, so. I have a question. One of my favorite 80s movies was Howard the Duck. That was a movie I probably rewatched probably 25 times. And I just wanted, can you share some memories from this movie and some members of the cast? So, thank you.
Howard the Duck is, I just saw it. Like, I literally never saw it. I think I was supposed to see it at the premiere, but I was on a full blackout. And so someone brought a 70mm print that they had gotten from England, which oddly enough had a few pieces taken out, when the Dark Overlord's tongue came out like that, they thought, in England, that was too gross, I guess. They took it out. And they took out, when I took out Howard's condom out of his wallet, they took that part out. It was weird. But anyway, I saw the movie, and I sat and watched it with my husband, and I hadn't really seen it. And it was really interesting. And I really liked it. I really did. I had a really good time watching it. It had so many puns in it, and we tried really hard, and it took a really long time to make that movie. I just remember how much time it took. There were whole sequences because, special effects were so different then. You had to kind of make them really happen. So whole sequences would take an entire month. And it's really hard to tell the same joke for an entire month. So that was really difficult. And at that point, when I saw that screening, there was a huge Q&A like this, and a theater full of people, and I said, I would really like to direct a reboot of Howard the Duck, because now it was the first Marvel movie, and now there's a whole Marvel universe. And to put Howard the Duck in this Marvel universe, when they, have this special effects that can back it up, would be amazing. So then everybody tweeted Marvel, so Marvel took a meeting with me. They said, you want to direct it? Okay, tell us what you think. I worked on the pitch for a really long time, and I got the help of Chip Zdarsky and Joe Quinone, and they had done a run of Howard the Duck, the last run of Howard the Duck, and it put me in it, Lea Thompson. They wanted to be super meta, and put me in, not as Beverly, but Lea Thompson, and it was really great. And so I asked them for help, and they drew, Joe drew some drawings, and Chip and I worked on the pitch, and we did it in Marvel, and they really liked it. They loved it, actually. But they were like, well, we have plans for these things, and we're doing the streaming thing, and we'll call you back. So tweet away, guys! Very good pitch. You guys would love the movie. It would do Howard proud.
Okay, I got a question. By the way, I watched Howard the Duck at my 8th birthday party. It was pretty wild.
No, they slipped it into those kids. They thought it was like so cute.
When I saw the duck boobs, like you're talking about latex boob, and then there's the duck boobs in the bathtub.
Yeah.
That was, anyways. It was a big forming moment for me as a young man. Okay, when you're watching a movie though that you've made, are there times where there's a scene where so much work went into it, and you're just hoping everybody notices that one thing that you did, and then they miss the part that you wanted them to see, and they really pay attention to something else that drives you crazy?
That happens a lot. I directed a movie that my daughter Madeline wrote it, she starred in it, and she scored it. And my daughter Zoe, who you might know from Dirty Grandpa, or Everybody Wants Some, or Vampire Academy, or
Set It Up!
Set It Up! Yes, Set It Up. So we all made this movie together. I directed it. I played her daughter, her mother, and my daughters play sisters. Anyway, it was a little independent movie, and so it was so hard to make. It was every scene was so hard to make. All the music, just because I had to do it myself. It's really, I was carrying props in my car and paintings. I put my mother's paintings in it, and I was it was so handmade and so. But when people see it, they just see a movie, which is what they're supposed to see. And I shouldn't be saying this was so hard to make, because that's dumb. People should see it and really enjoy it. So that's a really good question, because I always think it's so interesting that what you see is so different than what we see. Even when you're on stage, you're seeing this beautiful theater, and you guys in the audience never get to see it from our point of view, It's such an interesting thing when you're making a movie, because it's all just two people sitting there talking, and then you turn around and it's 100 people out there, doing their jobs. But what is really important is the story. And so I try to forget about all the pain of kind of making it, and try to just embrace the fact that if it looks easy, you did it right, Make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Hello. my God, he's seeing you. I have a feeling I know who's going to be in my photo later. My name is Adriana, and thank you for letting me cosplay you today. Thank you for your years of storytelling. And in a time where we're getting so many TVs and film rebooted, when am I going to see Caroline in the City again? I don't know. I was just trying to get the producer to go to them and to just at least make a TV movie or something like that. So I don't know. Caroline in the City was a really weird thing because it was CBS made it, and they developed the script, and then they put it in. They said, we don't like this, so they sold the script to NBC. And NBC made it, and it was a massive hit. So both networks still owned it. CBS and these rivals owned it. So both of them kind of wanted it to be a success, but then didn't. And so they didn't want it to be anything, to make it over 100 episodes. So they literally both tried to kill it at 100 episodes, which they did. They killed it at 98, just to be really mean. So it's stuck in an interesting place, where CBS was the studio and NBC was the network, so it's weird. So you have to kind of go to CBS and ask them to try to make it, so we're trying that right now. Thank you. I love you like Caroline again.
What happened to all the comics, man?
I don't know. I don't know. That's right. I'm in a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
I'm a comic book artist.
Hi, Lea. Happy New Year. Thanks again for coming by. Two-part question, that's kind of wonderful. I read that you originally turned down the role of Indiana Jones. I was wondering if you could tell us why. And secondly, since I've heard that you like props, I was wondering if you kept it. That would really like.
Thank you for that question. Some Kind of Wonderful, when they offered it to me, it went through this really interesting thing. My husband offered me Some Kind of Wonderful, and Howard the Duck was about to open, and I thought it was going to be a huge success. And so I turned it down because it wasn't the best part. The other part was better, the drummer girl. And I was like, you know, it's the guy's movie, and then I would play the third banana girl, and I don't get the guy. So the general wisdom of that was that, you know, she was kind of the bad guy. So I turned it down, and then my husband quit the movie. A different director came on. She hired Kim Delaney for my part, and then they fired that director and got my husband back on. And then Howard the Duck came out, and it was a massive bomb. And I really thought my career was over. So Eric Stoltz biked up Laurel Canyon, which is a very steep hill, with the script in his hand, and he said, who was in Some Kind of Wonderful, he said, Howard Deutsch wants you to do this movie. And it was literally a week after Howard the Duck came out, and I was like, I gotta get back on the horse. I gotta get back on the duck. And so I took the movie. They fired Kim Delaney. I'm sorry, I sat next to her recently. It was awkward. I think she still remembered. But anyway, you never forget that. So then I decided to do it, and I remember I cried the whole first day I was shooting. I was like, I can't act. I remember the crew was like making fun of me and laughing, like these scripts, and it was a really hard thing to get over. It's hard to understand that, but anyway, I was really happy to do it with my husband, and I love the movie. I mean, I think it's such a beautiful movie. It's such a classic, and I love especially the opening, and the music still holds up. And I do have one prop. My husband had a really big crush on me. We didn't start dating till after the movie came out. Spoiler alert. But my husband had a really big crush on me, and there was a plot point of a painting of me in the movie. And so he kept having different artists paint. There were 11 paintings of me. He didn't like any of them. I had different artists painting me. And so in the prop house at Paramount, there are 10 paintings. I took one of the paintings and I have it in my house, but it's not the one that's in the movie.
So that movie, Some Kind of Wonderful, a lot of us watched it in high school. I had to watch it in high school and social studies. And yeah, like it's like out in Alberta, which is a great province with snow. Love it. You're from Minnesota.
Yeah,
you
that's
love
right.
it.
I know it's no.
Yeah. So, I almost went redneck there. When you're making a movie like that, are you aware that it's going to cut through and have that longevity? Like, is there an energy, a vibe on set that you're doing more than just a movie? It's like a metaphor for like the modern youth experience.
Wow, that's a nice thing to say.
And I've got coming.
I love that. No, I don't think so, and I don't think you really know until time goes by. Like say for Back to the Future, there was a real lull and kind of like everybody kind of forgot about Back to the Future in the '90s. It seems like it just kind of came back. I think when people started showing their kids or something, like because it had such nostalgia for the '50s, and then when some people started having nostalgia for the '80s, it had this big resurgence, and now it kind of is really a big deal, and we're all surprised by it. I mean, I know I've heard Bob Zemeckis talk about it. He's really surprised. I mean, he's made such great movies, and he really says, like, this is the one he thinks everybody will really remember him for. And, you know, we're kind of still surprised by it, and it's a real miracle.
So you're talking about the process of the Howard the Duck talks with Marvel and all that stuff. Because every 2 months there's a rumor going around that they're going to reboot Back to the Future, or they're going to make Back to the Future 4. Are you in any of those talks? Like, do you have insider info on what's going on there? Have there been actual talks?
No one would talk to me about that, believe me. I think they're trying to make a musical. I know that. They're trying to make a musical for the theater of Back to the Future. They have the clearance to do that. But so far it hasn't been successful. And I think they should do it now because Chris Lloyd could play himself. Like, you know, getting older. Can you imagine that? Wouldn't you love to see him sing on stage? We got the Back to the Future! I would pay a lot of money. I'm hoping they do that. And but as far as a reboot for the movie, Bob Zemeckis and Bob Gale have been very clear that they own the rights until they pass. So only then could they ever make a movie.
Oh, so it's done.
And the original.
Hello, my name is Frank. My question is about Jaws 3. Did you have any favorite set moments, and did you keep anything from it?
Jaws 3. Well, the pink bikini was mine. They didn't have much of a budget for bikinis, apparently. So I think I still have the pink bikini. I'll be auctioning that off later. No, I didn't. Other than the stuff that was mine, I didn't save anything. I was just really terrified because honestly, I had lied and said that I'd done movies before, and I hadn't. So I didn't know what a mark was. I didn't know. I was really scared. I was like running. Trying to pretend I knew more than I did. But being the youngest, I was used to that. So, I'm the youngest of 5. So no, I just took knowledge. But that shark was really, looked really plastic, I can tell you that. The truth is, sharks do look plastic. It's actually, but you know what's specifically strange about that movie? They have the shark growl. They did, the shark was like, sharks don't growl. I know that for a fact.
So now that you're behind the camera, is there like a story, maybe that you grew up reading, or a book, or anything that you would just love to adapt into a movie? Have the wings.
Actually, I have a set of books. They're mystery books about a park ranger, a national park ranger, the Anna Pigeon Mysteries. I've had the rights to that for some time, and I want to play this park ranger who kind of solves these murder mysteries and has all these dark secrets. And so I've been shopping that around with some success, but I can't tell you.
Okay.
But I look forward to it maybe in the future. So I might be directing it, producing it, writing it, and starring in it.
Well, if I see you at any parks, I know something's up here.
Yes. I'll be a park ranger. Hi, it's Allison. Hi, Allison.
My middle name is Lorraine. My question is already answered, but one thing because is there anybody, movie actor, TV actor, that would love to work with you haven't worked with yet?
Really easy. William Shatner. I'm such a creeper whenever I see him at one of these things. I'm like, hi. You were my teen crush. I love William Shatner. But he won't give me the time of day. Maybe I'll have to just hire him as the director. I'll get to work with him. He's awesome.
Hi, I'm Diana. I'm a fellow youngest of 5. Do you have any advice for starting out with new directors?
Youngest of 5, you're sitting next to my oldest sister, Colleen. A hand for Colleen! Any advice? Well, the main advice for anybody doing anything is like, don't give up. Like, just take one step at a time. It might seem hopeless at first, but each day work on something and get a little bit closer. And don't be afraid to, I think one of the main things is you have to believe that you can do it first. Like, really believe it. And whatever it takes for you to believe it, whether it means you have to make your own iPhone movie every day, or, make your own rock video, or make your own YouTube channel. This is the best time ever to create your own content and to do it. And also, one thing that women often don't do, which I've had to talk myself into, is take partners. You really need partners. You need someone out, when you're feeling, someone reach behind and pull you up, and then you get strong, you pull them up. You need a partner in order to continue. And 2 people together is more like 5 people. You know what I mean? When you're 1, you're 1. When you're 2, you're 5. And take partners and don't be afraid to discuss things like money and rights and all of that. Just like, we're not taught as women, we're taught to be polite and not talk about money and not talk about deals and situations and all of that. I just find, like, I made my own first movie all by myself. I've been directing for 15 years, but it took me taking a partner of my daughter, Madeline, who, when we didn't feel like doing something for ourselves, we could do it for them, for each other. And so that's my advice. And I'm sticking with it. Thank you. Good luck. So we're going to find me.
Because I'm a fan of Switch Up Earth as well. And I've seen a lot of interviews where the cast has said about the impact that show has had on people. And wondering what kind of moment or interaction with this fan has really kind of stuck with you because of the show.
What's your name?
Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Yes.
Oh, my God. They're beautiful. I can have them too. Woo! Switch Up Earth, yes. I mean, it's really powerful. People were always like, it really did change a lot of people's lives. It's a joke I make on the set all the time when I'm really tired. I'm like, if we can just change one leg, it's worth it. I'm like, it's always a dumb joke. But on Switch Up Earth, it was true. I mean, we really did raise awareness around the world, give people a voice that didn't have a voice, humanize a group of people that hadn't been represented and were underrepresented. And so it's very powerful to me. And to all of us on Switch Up Earth. And that is the beauty of our job, like, for me. And I've always tried to concentrate on trying to put good things into the universe, if I could. Trying to do projects that ultimately had something human or honest or funny or uplifting to say. And, that's how I've generally picked my projects. And I think it's really important. And I think it's a really huge gift, to be able to be part of something like that and to try to do it well and with dignity and honesty. And, I feel really grateful. And yes, people come up to me and they tell me that it changed their life and that they learned sign language and that they had a child that was deaf and they hadn't bothered to learn sign language and now they understand why that wasn't right or fair or kind, and they learn sign language and now they can have their kid or kids who are autistic that can't talk, that they can sign, and how important that is. And it's a real gift. And I'm really grateful. And like you said, people watch it for class all the time. Sign language, they watch Speech at Birth for class. And also, in America, you had to take French or Spanish. And now they offer sign language as well as as another language. And the respect that it's gotten as an actual real language is really important. Don't you think?
The CN Tower.
So when you're dancing, I know cast me in a movie.
Okay, no.
I'm not union, so I can't talk in it. I'll just stand in the background. So when you were dancing and then you quit dancing and focused on acting, what was the goal? Like, was it just, I gotta pay some bills, or is it, I'm gonna do this, this is where I'm gonna be, and when I hit this benchmark, I've made it? You know what I mean?
Right. No, I've never thought that way. I really have always seen life as like, whatever, like not like that. Because you never do make it. You're always struggling and you're always trying for the next thing. You're always, gone are the days in any industry where you just get in and you just do it forever. You just boom. This is a world now where we all have to adapt and change as the marketplace changes, as our opportunities change. We have to find different things to do. I mean, I didn't start directing. Well, I did start directing because I really like it, but also there aren't very many parts for people my age, so I just didn't want to be, relegated to smaller and smaller parts. I wanted to be in control. I wanted to use all that I've learned, the knowledge that I've learned, and not feel like I was going backwards. So I have never really thought that I was going to make it or anything, but I always did want to be a performer and be part of this opportunity to be able to, give.
Was it like you watched a movie or TV show when you were growing up? Like, oh man, that's it, that's what I gotta do.
No, I still don't think I still dream that I'm still a dancer. I do, which is why when I did Dancing with the Stars in America, it was super traumatic. I was like, I'm not still a dancer. But I can play one on TV. Hi, Marty. What's your name?
Taylor.
Hi, Taylor. Nice to see you.
Do you think that a lot of 80s movies are rated R, rated G? Do you think they're rated wrong? And if you think so, like Back to the Future, what would you rate it?
Wow, I don't even know. That's a really good question. It was really interesting for me because my movie, The Year of Spectacular Men, which is selling right now, American. Thank you. I don't even think you can get it here, but they didn't rate it. And so it was really hard for me because I'm selling the movie, but it should be rated R. And because there's a lot of the F word in it. But that's really interesting. And it's interesting to me what's interesting for me about that question is how it changes what people consider to be unacceptable for certain ages. It changes all the time. I mean, and in the 80s, it was always like you always had to have boobs in a movie, and there was, now there's hardly at all. Like, popular movies never have that, but they're rated R because they have to shoot 9,000 people in the head in every movie. That's why they're rated R.
Well, that's way safer than breasts.
I know.
Children.
Yes, obviously.
Dude, I don't want to cut it off, but I got to. I got the wrap it up sign. Big round of applause, everybody.
Thank you for watching the Convention Junkies coverage of Fan Expo Canada 2018. Join the conversation below with a comment, and don't forget to like and subscribe to see more. If you would like to help us with future projects, please visit our Patreon page.